Hey, folks, how you doing? This is the Views Express Live right here on Monday, 3rd of November, 2014. And I want to give it up to Mr. Brian Keller over at the BK Factor over at Shake and Wake Radio. Awesome show. I want to give it up to Mr. Jason Berg over at National. What is that? I got to look now. I am so off today. I am. You ever have one of those moments, folks, where you wake up in the morning and you're going, holy crap, what happened? You know. Jason Berg over at nationallibertyalliance.org. So go check that site out as well. So it's one of those things, folks, where, hey, I know. Not enough coffee or too much and your mouth overruns your, common sense and, crap like that. But anyway, hey, how you doing? Started 1 hour early because, got stuff to do, I do have a life outside of this radio show, Speaking of the radio show and having a life, I don't usually do this. I usually try to encourage you to, donate or whatever you need to at the website to help support Free America Radio Network. But right now, I want to say this. I am looking for sponsors. Okay, that's the big thing. You may hear me talk about that all through the show today. I do need sponsors. So if you are in the continental United States and you are, you have a small mom and pop, I'm not looking for, Wally World or Starbucks or anything of that. I'm just looking for mom and pops that want their own companies promoted and, advertised and stuff like that. You contact me. I'm not out to break your advertising budget. Matter of fact, it's so low that major radio stations would laugh if I told them how much I charge for advertising. So go to freeamericaradio.us, go to the sponsors page. That's all you're going to pay. That's it. And that's per month, by the way, folks. freeamericaradio.us, go to the sponsors page. So contact me. We'll work out some minor details, and we'll go from there. I do need sponsors. Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's freeamericaradio@usa.com. Check out the website as well, and go from there. Hey, if you have any questions, of course, concerns, comments, even if you disagree with me, go ahead and show me why. It's okay to disagree with me. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Also, you can donate. If you don't want to sponsor, that's fine. You can donate. I do have PayPal and Bitcoin. You can donate if you'd like. Also, there is emergency food supply there as well. There's a couple of links you can click on, and that helps out your family and helps out Free America Radio Network all at the same time. So whatever it is you need to do, however it is you need to contribute to Free America Radio Network, please do. I am looking for sponsors. Please email me for more details. freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's freeamericaradio@usa.com. I'll be right back after this. Don't wait until another natural or man-made disaster strikes. Have at least 72 hours of emergency gear near you at all times, and that includes food. Get your emergency food supply today. Go to freeamericaradio.us, and at the top of the page, click on the emergency food supply link. Help your family by purchasing as much emergency food supply as you need. You'll be helping out your family and Free America Radio Network. Thank you. What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman. Telling you the truth without all the bull. The Wayne S. Pierce Show. The Wayne S. Pierce Show.weebly.com. Hey folks, welcome to the Views Expressed live right here on the Free America Radio Network. FreeAmericaRadio.us is the website. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com is the email. Welcome on this 3rd of November 2014. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. I'll be with you for the next 2 hours. Oh my God, can you handle me for the next 2 hours? It's Monday, folks. What do you expect? Hey, got your coffee? Got your, I don't know what you got. But anyway, I got to tell you, folks, pardon me, I got to do this when you're talking on the radio most of the day. Some water is very much appreciated. But anyway, hey, things are changing. We're scaling back here at the Free America Radio Network. I am, because I run the freaking network myself, I am my own boss, and this is the way it is. I don't get paid for this, folks. So when I ask that you contribute to Free America Radio Network, it is to keep the show on the server, basically. Well, I say server. There's a lot more than that. There's a lot more to that, by the way, to tell you the truth. It helps keep it on the air. Helps pay the ISP, helps pay for, all of that. I get Zippo for that. Okay? Zip. Okay. But if you want to contribute, please do. You can go to freeamericaradio.us, and I do need sponsors. And again, that's going to go to help keep the show on the air. I do need sponsors, mom and pops, and if you have any questions, please ask. More than happy to tell you what you need to know. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. What do we do? Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. There's a few things I want to share with you as well. And I got to answer somebody here. Oh, hold on. Anyway, yeah, I had to answer somebody on their Facebook thing. So, anywho. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook, if you would, please. Thank you. Sorry for the silence and all the clicking and all that. Yeah, you know how it is. Anyway, what can I say there? I want to bring this up. I brought this up on a podcast earlier, but I want to bring this up now for those that haven't heard the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast from earlier. From the People's Voice on Facebook, the Trinity of a Globalist Stranglehold. It shows obelisks. You know what those are. You've seen those. In London, the Vatican, and Washington. The city of London, not any part of England. The Vatican City, not any part of Italy. And Washington, D.C., not any part of America. These three states control the world. They are city-states within themselves. Okay. And the facts are the facts. It's right out there in front of you. You can go check this out. The City of London, the Vatican, Washington, D.C. You can see this. And I'm typing away. And sorry for the silence. I'm had to answer somebody there, Anyway, these three systems, and I call them systems because they are a city-state among themselves, within themselves, and they control the vast amount of entities that are, that are around there. In other words, let me give you an example. Washington, D.C., not part of America at all. They are a city-state unto itself. They pretty much control all other 50 states. Okay? They control the 50 states. How do they do that? By bribery and blackmail and, that kind of thing. And seriously, they control mostly everything that we do. Why is that? Well, they control us they control us through everything. I mean seriously. And here's one of the ways they control us. They control us through the New York Stock Exchange. Now, I didn't want to get into this too much, okay? And I didn't want to get into this too much, but I will tell you this for example, because I'm going to make a point here in a minute. The American Stock Exchange, located in New York. Let me see. Here's this. The New York Stock Exchange, the NYSE, is owned by Intercontinental Exchange, an American holding company. It also lists itself. Previously, it was part of the NYSE Euronext, which is NYX, which was formed by the NYSE's 2007 merger with a fully electronic stock exchange, Euronext. Okay, it goes into the history and all this, and the real problem. And I say problem because it is the real problem we have in America, is if you control the money flow within the states and within the hands of the people, if you control the money flow, you pretty much control what people say, where they get their information, how much information you want them to have, who does what, when, why, and how. I mean, everything. When you control the money flow, you pretty much control them. And the other part of and that's my point I wanted to make with using the New York Stock Exchange as an example. Once you control their money, you control them. The other problem we have in America is the military-industrial complex, which Eisenhower warned us about in 1961. If you are a student of history as I am, I can tell you this right now. Eisenhower knew for a fact, that Kennedy wasn't going to last his full presidency. And Lyndon Baines Johnson, who prior to becoming vice president had investments in the military contracts, the war machine that was going on in the 40s and 50s, Yeah, he had money. Okay, we're talking big cha-chings, okay? So when Kennedy said, he wanted to, get rid of the Treasury, you remember, let's just say the result of that was November 22nd, 1963. But Eisenhower warned us about the military-industrial complex, warned us about it. It's obvious that we didn't learn from history. And when LBJ, who allegedly had a stake in the murder of John F. Kennedy, when he became president, he continued everything that Kennedy was against. And in 1964, certain things, and it's come out, and it's in history, it's on record, you can go look it up. When Eisenhower in 1964 knew that certain things were happening that were going to really put his presidency on the brink of disaster, certain things happened, and a false flag event in the Gulf of Tonkin in 1964 caused him, or I should say, caused the elements involved in his presidency to continue the war in Vietnam. Okay? That's what got us into Vietnam, was that false flag attack, or that false flag in the Gulf of Tonkin in 1964. Now, when LBJ said, I'm not accepting this, no whatever, I'm not going to run for president, blah, 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 he did that for a reason. His bosses said, you're done. Okay, we've accomplished our mission here, and so you're done. Okay, bye-bye. Let's get somebody else in there. And they did, by the name of Richard Milhouse Nixon, who had intimate knowledge, from what I've gathered, of Kennedy's murder, of Eisenhower's, not Eisenhower, but LBJ's involvement, and he had intimate knowledge. Okay? Now, he also had intimate knowledge of other things as well. Why do you think he was? Well, I think what he did was he was the scapegoat for the break-in at the Watergate Hotel with the Watergate scandal. He knew exactly who headed that up. He knew he had to do something, and so he put himself in a position where, well, I can go out in disgrace and quit my presidency in the second term, or be arrested and impeached. He knew this. There was already articles of impeachment being written up against him. So he quit. He resigned. And of course, we know, President Gerald Ford was there. He had a lot of intimate knowledge as well about the murder of JFK. So lots of things were happening in our history from 1960 on up to 1974. So for approximately 15 years, we had all of this information. Okay? My point is this: the third element in all of this, pertaining to the Vatican, the City of London, Washington, D.C., the third element in this is basically the finance. Okay? Literally, you had the City of London, which is the finance end of this unholy trinity we call the New World Order. And that even that's not the third part. What I'm saying is you had the finance. I kind of slipped up there and didn't fill you in on some information. We had the finance end of this, which financed all the wars in Vietnam and the closing of, or I shouldn't even say closing, but when Nixon was in, he, got rid of the draft. I mean, there was reasons for that as well. And it all had to deal with finances, okay? We had the military-industrial complex I just talked about. But the third part of that was Vatican City, the religious aspect or the religion of the New World Order. Now, of course, you've heard prophecy after prophecy, this and that and the other thing, and you can go back and look at the writings of Nostradamus and of the Bible, of course, prophecy, and of ancient, Oriental, Asian, and Chinese prophecies as well as European prophecies outside of Nostradamus. You can also look at the 20th century and look at people like Edgar Cayce and people of that nature. Talk about a religion for the whole world. Now, there was a film by, I forget his name now, Lindsay something, Hal Lindsey. And I saw that movie years ago. It was a documentary about who's going to run the world. He had this, the fall of this, and, And oddly enough, it was a Muslim. When you look at Hal Lindsey's movies, you can see that when you look at that movie, and I've got to find the name of that movie so I can give it to you. Let me go to this. If my browser would work. I've been having more problems with this browser, or with the, I don't know, man. I go to a site and it just slow. Just, it won't go anywhere. It's just, the little cursor thingy goes backwards and then it goes forwards, and then you're like, what? So, I've got to find this for you, and I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but when you look at the religion of the world, when you look at what is there, the late great planet Earth, that's what it is, the late great planet Earth, okay? When you look at that, and when you look at Satan is alive and well on planet Earth, the liberation of planet Earth, there's a new world coming, 1980s countdown to Armageddon. When you look at everything that he's done, late great planet Earth is one of the ones that I saw, and it literally showed a new world order, a new world religion, and it had a Muslim person ahead of it. Now, a lot of speculation has come about since then. Well, the person's coming out of Europe, the person's coming out of, Germany, or the person's coming out of the EU, or the person's coming out of, the Middle East, or whatever. No matter who it is, we're screwed, folks, if we don't stop it now. That's my point. Sorry for taking all that time trying to find that. The late, great planet Earth. I mean, seriously. If you cannot accept the facts that are out in front of you, I don't know what to tell you. I honestly do not know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't know. The one thing that I do know is this, is that there are a lot of people who are out there who understand what's going on, who have the knowledge of what's happening, who understand the intricacies of all this stuff behind the scenes. And I'm just, I get the information as I get it. But if there are people out there that have more information than I do, please send that to me. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Because I'm just, hey, I'm I have been researching this for well over 30 years, and I can tell you I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. Okay? The answers I do have are they're bits and pieces of things I've put together and basically like a puzzle, so that when I look at the whole picture on the puzzle, I can see what it is. Okay? And some of the pieces are missing, but most of them are there, and I can tell what it is. For over 30 years, I've been doing that. Not just in shadow governments and political corruption and all this, that, and the other thing. Oh, and a lot of other things as well. This is not the show to get into that, but I will tell you this. Your government, the people you're going to be voting for tomorrow, unless they are outside of the paradigm of the left-right Democratic Republican, unless they're outside of that, the Democrats and Republicans or conservatives or liberals that you're going to be voting for tomorrow, don't even. Because they're the problem. They're the ones who are bought off by the corporations that run Washington, D.C. They're the ones who have created the mess, caused us to react, and are now coming back saying, but wait a minute, we have a solution. Hegelian dialectic. Go look that up. Startpage.com. Look that up. Hegelian dialectic. You'll find out what that is. These Marxist, socialist, communist pigs, all of them in Washington, D.C., the whole of Congress. I mean, I agree with Pete Santilli over at Guerrilla Media Network that says we need hundreds of people. If it can't be millions, it needs to be thousands. We need thousands of people to surround that nation's capital and go in and take all these people by the scruff of the neck and throw their asses out and say, as he says, pick up your paper clips and get the hell out. And I'm for that. All of them. You know, eliminate them, eliminate their staff, just get them out, throw them out on the East Lawn and just say, you're fired, go home. Okay? Is that ever going to happen? Well, the amount of people that we have now that don't see anything wrong, that would rather sit on their butt and watch ESPN, no, we don't have enough people. But if enough people in the United States finally got up and got sick and tired of what's going on and went to Washington, D.C. and took that place over, just people like you and I, you know, the cooks, the truck drivers, the bartenders, you know, all these people. If it was you and I, we need to get there and we need to, well, let's just go in and declare citizens arrest on Congress. By the way, we can do that. The federal provost marshal has to go into the White House, go into the Oval Office, him and his deputies, and arrest everybody in that Oval Office. He can do that. The provost marshal of the United States of America can go in and just say, Mr. President, you're now under arrest for treason, and we need you to vacate this building. Now, I could be wrong in that, so please let me know. I don't want to start any riots in Washington, D.C. There's enough of them already. Hey, I'm going to go to break. It's the bottom of the hour. Geez, that was quick, wasn't it? Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Go to the website if you want to support Free America Radio Network at freeamericaradio.us. I do take PayPal and Bitcoin for donations. I do need sponsors, so go to the sponsors page. And if you want to get your emergency food supply, please do. It helps out you and your family, and it helps out Free America Radio Network. freeamericaradio.us, freeamericaradio@usa.com. You're listening to The Views Expressed right here on the Free America Radio Network.
Samo Radio. Playing music for free so you can listen longer. Samo.
It's the 5 o'clock drive with Samo.
Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hey there, I'm Big Tiny. I'm the host of Big Tiny's Oldies and More. And we're playing music that you just love to hear from the 50s to the 90s. So check us out Monday through Friday and see what we're playing right here on Spreaker.com.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor? Do you want to hone your abilities? Please send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. We are currently looking for voice actors to fill certain character roles in an ongoing radio play in development. Please send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. For all you independent artists, musicians, and filmmakers, there is a place for you. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Views Express Live. This is the Free America Radio Network, Free America Radio at .us, freeamericaradio.us. The email address is freeamericaradio at USA.com. Free America Radio at USA.com. I'm looking for sponsors. If you have any questions, please ask. More than happy to tell you. Free America Radio at USA.com. You can go to freeamericaradio.us, go to the sponsors page, and that's all you're going to pay, folks. Not out to break your advertising budget. So, got any questions? Please ask. Free America Radio at USA.com. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook if you would, please. Thank you very much. Oh, God. What can I say? I'm going to give a big shout out to Mr. Brian Lang over at LiveTruthRadio.com, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern, right there on LiveTruthRadio.com. The reality underneath the honesty. And that's it, man. Go check out Chris Ann Hall show. The Chris Ann Hall show. That's over at the chrisannhallshow.com. That's KRISANNEHALL. chrisannhall.com. Go check that out as well. She's Liberty's lobbyist. So now, excuse me, got something going on. I said this on not only the podcast earlier, but also on a previous episode of the Views Express Live. War is the greatest debt creator known to man, and that's true, because on Free America Radio Facebook page, you can scroll down and see who the three people were that profited big time from wars. That would be J.P. Morgan, Rothschild, and Rockefeller. So why do we resist the idea that both sides of wars are typically funded by the same bankers? Are we scared of the implications? Could they be manipulating the wars into happening for their own profits? Well, it seems to me that when there is a war, somebody profits. Somebody profits from the blood spilled from your men, women, and children that go to war on both sides. Not just our American military, but a lot of people. It seems that we perpetuate the fear and the terror, not only in our own United States, but also in the other countries that our military-industrial complex occupies. And sometimes our agent provocateurs that are hired by the CIA, FBI are now in the streets of these occupied countries working for the military-industrial complex, staging events, false flag events, causing terror. So let me ask you this. Who are the bullies in the globalist, not the globalists, but there are globalists running the whole thing. Who's the bullies in the global schoolyard? It's certainly not the citizens of these countries, or specifically of the U.S. You know, because I'll tell you right now, I feel sorry for people in Iran and Iraq and the citizens themselves, and in Israel and stuff like that, because they got to put up with this crap. You know, and they're looking to the citizens, and I've seen YouTube videos of citizens of Israel, of Iraq, of Saudi Arabia, of all these other countries, and they're saying, look, American citizens, we're not against you. We don't like what your country's doing to you or to us. So yeah, I mean, it's all out there. Peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the nations, and that's what we need, and that's what everybody wants for their country. But unfortunately, nobody has the balls to stop this crazy train from derailing. And the United States of America is right there, cruising over the cliff into the abyss. We will collapse, and it's going to be because, number one, the citizens of the United States, you and I, are not getting out and stopping this bull crap. And number two, we've allowed it to happen. Who do you think is in the White House? Who put him there? The second time around. Hey. Well, we don't have to worry about my mortgage. I won't have to worry about my, car payments. And if we help him, he'll help us. No, that's full of bull. They caught up with that woman. I think it was Infowars.com. They caught up with her, and guess what? She even says he lied. Everybody's looking for freebies. Everybody's looking for freebies. I don't care who the hell you are or what class of economic or economy you're in. Everybody's looking for something for free. The government makes enough money, they can give it to me for free. This is the mentality of some folks. No. Got to work your ass off to get what you want in this world. And I can tell you right now, if you work for it, you'll appreciate it better. Believe me, I know this firsthand, okay? There are people out there that want stuff for free. In other words, give you an example, a hypothetical. If I owned a grocery store, and I had 10% of the customers coming in and getting things for free, the other 90% of the customers would be pissed off because they're paying for those people to get something for free. Now I got 90% of the other 90% of the people saying, "Hey, how come I can't get it for free?" So you got those two types of people in the U.S. And you have a third type of people, the ones that are saying, hey, you got to work your butt off to get what you want. Well, I don't get paid enough. And then you have the fourth types of people. Pay me more because your corporation makes billions a year. You can pay me what I want. Then you have the fifth type of people that say, well, the corporations have this and they do. It's a never-ending circle, folks. Do you see where that's going? You'll get more and more and more and more people wanting stuff for free, not wanting to work for anything, or if they do, and they work part-time, they'll want more money than what the company wants to pay for a part-time worker, which is ridiculous in my book because the economy doesn't have the foundation to be able to do that. So anybody working part-time that wants $10 an hour is out of their freaking mind. McDonald's is toying with the idea, if they haven't done it already, to put kiosks in their stores, in their restaurants. Because they don't want to pay anybody $15 an hour. Hey, those people out there on the streets, I want $15 an hour and McDonald's makes enough money so I can do it. They can pay me $15. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Hey, jackass, how about walking into the, into the dining room and see that kiosk there? Guess what? There's your $15 an hour right there. Bye. Have a nice day. You're fired. You understand me? So there you go. I wouldn't put up with that crap if I owned a franchise like that. You want $15 an hour? Kiss my butt. I'm hiring all new people. Bye. Have a nice day. Because the economy doesn't have the foundation to be able to support that. Because not everybody goes to McDonald's. Okay? I don't know how... I don't know how much easier I can put it to people. Okay? Now, I've seen... hold on to your horses. Remember the end of the 90s? When the big internet boom was happening and Netscape and all this and AOL and the whole... remember that? Huge profits out of these companies, right? These tech companies, right? Then all of a sudden about 2001, 2002, 3, somewhere in there, right? The bottom drops out. Went too far, too fast, too soon. And what happened? Everybody's buying everybody out. Well, I believe that some of the people, maybe 3 people that began Netscape, that started all that, were bought out, they left, they retired, and they started their own company. Have you heard of Mozilla Firefox? And they had millions. Somebody bought them out. They said, yeah, let's go. And some of the other techs went to AOL when AOL bought them out. And it just went from there. And the thing is, my point in all this is I'm a capitalist. You want to work hard, get what you want. You have to, as my dad used to say, go where the money's at. Okay? So find a way to make a living and, find what you love to do and find a way to make a living at it. Go where the money is. And that's what people did. So years ago, people were getting laid off. You had everybody's downsizing and the whole 9 yards, right? So people started their own companies. So you people that want $15 an hour working part-time flipping burgers, why don't you shut the hell up and go out and start your own business? Why don't you go out and start a little, landscaping job or go flip burgers someplace on your own and make your own? And, people do it all the time. Well, I don't want to do that. That's too much work. What? Let me tell you, I got a theater background. I have an entertainment background. I have a warehousing background. I have a kitchen background. I've worked. Okay? I've worked. It's not that easy, I can tell you. But it doesn't take, that long to sit down, plan it out, and execute that plan and make it happen. And if you're too damn lazy and you want somebody to pay you $15 an hour to work 4 hours a day flipping burgers, you are out of your stinking mind. That's just the way it is. Okay? So, welcome kiosks. Customers walk up, punch in what they want, somebody in the back, boom, there you go. Oh, by the way, that's being automated too. I saw the machines. The hamburger makers, I saw the machines. If you walk into Burger King and you see that broiler that they use, they put the burgers on top and it goes in, the oven is slow on that little conveyor belt. Something similar to that. But it makes the burger. There's nobody around to put the burger on the bun, put the lettuce on the bun, put the pickle on the nothing. No, it does it on its own. I've seen the machine. So you want $15 an hour? Go home. Start your own business. Okay. But I'm a single mom and I just want to work and Great. I applaud single mothers. Matter of fact, I applaud mothers all over the country because you guys, it's a thankless job and nobody rarely ever tells you, thank you. So thank you, moms. But there are some out there who just want to suck off the system. And that ain't going to happen. Okay? So either get a clue in your head and straighten out your life and go out and do something on your own, or stop stop thinking that the government's going to take care of you. Because, in about 5 years, you're not going to have that. What President Obama just recently say? He said about stay-at-home moms, he doesn't want that for America. He thinks the kids should be in school and the moms should be working. Excuse me? If you're in a position to where you can stay home and your husband or wife works and you guys are getting by pretty well, what's the point? Stay home with your kids. Homeschool them. Don't send them to the governmental indoctrination institutes. Are you dumb? What the hell? But yeah, and if you're in a position to do that, go ahead. But if you're not, go to work. Screw the president. He's as dumb as a box of freaking turds. So, hell, beavers are a hell of a lot more intelligent than he is. But anyway, enough of that. I don't know. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Let's check out what we got there. I just read you a couple of other things as well. But I want you to take a look at one of the links I put up there. It's a YouTube video, Drugging Children. Did you know? Yeah, I put it up about like 3 hours ago. So I did that. I read that. Okay, here's this. And I've said this before, and I know people are getting all, pissy and, the government's not like that. I like my government. If you like your government, you can keep your government. I'm going to have peace, freedom, security, and liberty in this nation. I don't know about you. You can stay chained and to the corporate system, but let's face it, it's broken. Matter of fact, a couple of years ago, it was said, economically, the bottom has just, dropped out. The system has collapsed. We're on life support, folks. The United States is on life support. Don't believe me? Go to usdebtclock.org. usdebtclock.org. Don't tell me it's not on life support. By the way, the numbers there at that website are about, maybe 4 to 5 times less than what it actually is. Yeah. Free America Radio on Facebook. From worldtruth.tv. Some people may not like that site. Some people may have their own opinion about that site, but you know what? They put out some good stuff once in a while, and this is one of them. Why did the U.S. government invent and patent Ebola. Patent number, hashtag CA2741523, the letter A, the number 1. CA2741523, the letter A, 1. Swine flu, patent number, got the hashtag there, pound symbol, number 8124101, 8124101. AIDS cure, patent number 5676977, 5676977. The cancer cure, 6630507, 6630507. Seems like they are trying to cause an epidemic, making us ill, then keeping us sick. And if I'm wrong about that, folks, if I'm wrong about those numbers or whatever it may be, you go ahead and correct me. It's okay. Just show me why you disagree with me on that, and yeah, we'll go from there. But that's what the government does. They create a problem, we react, and they come back with a solution. And I got to tell you, that's the Hegelian dialectic, if I can say that word right. The Hegelian dialectic. Startpage.com, look that one up. But what do we fashion our lives by? Do we allow our environment to make the changes in our lives that will suit the environment? Because about 90% of the time growing up, that's exactly what has happened. Now, we have to break free of that environment and say, piss off. I'm going to do what my conscience and my intuition has guided me to do, and I'm going to use common sense in doing so. Peace, freedom, liberty, and security in this nation is what we want. We want the borders closed. We want these foreigners out. Yes, if they're here legally with visas and they're working and they're trying to be citizens and all this, and they've filled out all the right papers and dotted the I's and crossed the T's and, you know, whatever they need to do to be an American citizen, I'll shake their hands because you're doing it the right way. But if you're crawling under the borders or going over the fence or walking right over the borders, you know, no. Get your ass back home and fight for your own freedom in your country. But our country's corrupt and they're going to kill us. Well, then obviously you don't have any backbone or balls to stand up to your leaders and make them change it. Okay? Today I was on the BK Factor over in Shake and Wake Radio. I called in and I was talking to Rick over there. I was talking to BK and I was talking to Jason Berg of the National Liberty Alliance.org. And I kept hearing this. I kept hearing that, you know, it's too late. We can't do anything about it. Yada, 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 you know, and I mentioned, well, 3% of the colonists back in 1775, 1776 did something about it. Oh, yeah, but there was enough people and there were, you know, all this. I kept hearing this defeatist attitude. And it's like, what? I almost, you know, said something, but I thought, yeah, I'll see where he goes with this. And it wasn't from BK, it was from Rick, from Shake and Wake Radio. And I'm like, what? And it just kind of stunned me to hear, after all, I've heard Pete Santilli, I've heard Alex Jones, Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, I've heard all these people say there's something that can be done. And, you know, and a few of those people I mentioned are saying this is what we need to do. And they tell us, and we're looking into these things, you know, obviously, hopefully. But this is the first time in months that I've heard, years, that I've heard anyone say, that's it. You know, we can't do anything. You know, it's a lost cause is what I felt what I felt was being said. What? No, it's not a lost cause. Peace, freedom, liberty, and security in the United States that our founding fathers formed under the principles of freedom, under the principles of peace, under the principles of, guided by God's hand, in that fashion of that time? Fighting for America, for the peace, freedom, and security and liberty for this nation is a lost cause? Are you out of your flipping mind? Hell no, it's not a lost cause. If it is, then all the people that died in Vietnam, all the people that died in Korea, all the people that died in World War II and World War I and the Spanish-American War and the Civil War have all died in vain if it's a lost cause. No, it's not a lost cause. Well, it's too late. No, it's not. On average, how many people live in your city in the United States? Right here in Reno, Nevada, in FEMA Region 9. In Reno, Nevada, we have, I believe, about 300,000 people. If just 10,000 people got up off of their asses and went out into the streets of Reno, Nevada and Carson City, Nevada, which is the capital of Nevada, and protested to the nth degree and never stopped, something would change. I guarantee it. 10,000 people need to jump out into the streets, I'll be there, and need to tell the state of Nevada, you got one choice only, and it begins with we the people. First thing you need to do is get rid of Harry Reid, throw his ass in jail because you know his family. You go look back in his family history. You want to talk about criminals? Yes, he's a criminal. I said it. What are you going to do? SWAT team me? I don't think so. Do I have evidence to prove that? You could just go check out his history. Okay, that's all you got to do. I'm not the first one to say this. Hell, I remember when he was voted into the Senate. Hell, all the things he was saying when he was running for Senate back then, what was it, 92, 93, somewhere around in there? I voted for the jerk back then because I thought he was going to bring, more freedom. No. Go look at his track record since he's been in Washington, D.C. It's a freaking travesty. He's a treasonous bastard that needs to be thrown in jail. Period. And if you can't do that, at least don't reelect him because he's dumber than a box of rocks. Okay? Oh, he's scared. He's running scared now because tomorrow he might not have a job. He's running scared. He's going to do everything he can to shore up his existence in the Senate. We need to make sure that he gets his butt thrown out. And we need to jump down there in Carson City. We need to go to the governor's office or his house or the state capitol building and tell Governor Sandoval, we've had enough. You've got one choice and one choice only. We the people. That's it. You want to keep your job? You're going to do exactly what we tell you to do. Period. Now, I know a lot of people think that's the bad way of going around it. A lot of people might say, well, you can't just do that. Really? Oh, there's certainly... No. Here's the rule of law. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights prior to 1871. Period. Follow that. You're going to be our friend. You don't follow that and you take that corporate money, we're going to kick your ass out of there and put somebody in there that meat and potatoes, somebody. And we've got a lot of unemployed people here in Nevada, and I'm pretty sure somebody would love to be governor. We'll make it happen. Yeah, you can tell I'm a little wound up today, folks. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. I'm looking for sponsors, folks. If you want to sponsor this show, please do. If you just want to donate, you can do that too. FreeAmericaRadio.us. I shall return right after this.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Online at thelibertybeat.com. I'm Brian Hagan with your Liberty Beat for Monday, November 3rd, 2014. Gold is trading around $1,168, silver $15.93, and Bitcoin's trading around $329.26. Today's metal prices brought to you by Midas Resources Incorporated, helping clients convert their paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver. Get their 10 Reasons book free by calling 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237. Support for Liberty Beat comes from SovereignMiners.com. Interested in mining Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies? Well, Sovereign Miners has you covered. All purchases come with a free script ISIC miner. Visit SovereignMiners.com to buy your miner today. In the news, leaked phone conversations from the Federal Aviation Administration show that the true purpose for a no-fly zone in Ferguson, Missouri in August was to keep the media out, not for safety, as had been claimed. The Associated Press reports that during one of the phone calls, a manager at the FAA's Kansas City Center said the police did not care if you ran commercial traffic, but they didn't want media in there. Air managers changed policy to allow for some air traffic while grounding news helicopters during the 12-day no-fly zone. The recordings contradict claims made by the St. Louis County Police Department, which stated that restrictions were not about the media, but about safety. Senator Ron Wyden has criticized the CIA for their efforts to redact significant portions of a delayed Senate report on CIA torture. Senator Wyden attacked the agency's demand that all names, including pseudonyms, be redacted from the report. The Senate Intelligence Committee has agreed to strike the real names from the report, but is insisting on using pseudonyms as an alternative. The Los Angeles City Council recently instructed the Los Angeles Police Department, the Police Commission, and the City Attorney's Office to create rules for the use of unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones, in Los Angeles. Earlier this year, the LAPD received 2 drones, which were purchased using federal grant funds. Support for Liberty Beat comes from My Magic Mud, detoxifying tooth powder, the most effective and affordable dental care around. Jessica Armand would like to thank Liberty Beat listeners for all of their support. Get a 150 application jar at mymagicmud.com. Did you know you can support the Liberty Beat when shopping on Amazon.com? Well, you can. Just log into your account after clicking our Amazon affiliate link at libertybeat.com/Amazon. That's right. Now you can help the Liberty Beat continue to deliver hard-hitting Liberty news and activist updates just by doing your Amazon shopping after following our link at thelibertybeat.com. This is the Liberty Beat for Monday, November 3rd, 2014. Check out the website at thelibertybeat.com and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/thelibertybeat. Researchers with architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth are planning on suing the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the National Institute of Standards and Technology to force the release of nearly 500,000 records related to the attacks of September 11, 2001. The records contain evidence gathered by the agencies and other contractors in the days and weeks following the event. Architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth say the NIST and FEMA have resisted Freedom of Information Act requests and in some cases refused their obligations to respond. The researchers state that some of the records pertain to the controversial collapse of World Trade Center Building 7, which fell in the evening despite not being hit by a plane. Huntsville, Alabama city officials paid $157,000 to a former FBI agent last year to oversee security improvements, which included monitoring the social media activity of students. AL.com reports that 14 students, 12 of which were African American, were expelled due to the spying. Madison County Commissioner Bob Harrison said the results indicate that the online snooping targeted black children. School board member Lori McCauley, who is African American, says that's not true, adding that the expulsions were due to the most serious offenses, such as weapons, drugs, and sex. The so-called SAFE program operates on tips from teachers or students, while security personnel look for images of guns or gang signs on social media sites such as Facebook. Support for Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network. Videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. This is the Liberty Beat for Monday, November 3rd, 2014. I'm Brian Hagan, reporting. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Views Express Live right here for the 3rd of November, 2014. How are you? Oh, what a day. What a day. What a day. How y'all doing? It's Monday. I know y'all went to work and went, man, is Freddie here yet? I've done that. Believe me, I've done that. But not this. I love doing this. So if you want to support Free America Radio Network, please do. freeamericaradio.us. I do take PayPal and Bitcoin if you want to donate. That's 2 ways of doing it. Or you can sponsor this show. Go to the sponsors page. And I'm not out to break your advertising budget, so there you go. Plus, you can go to the emergency food supply link and get as much as you need. And, yes, you'll be supporting your family, protecting your family, and supporting Free America Radio Network. Hey, lots and lots and lots of things going on. By the way, if you go to freeamericaradio.us, you can go to the store there. Yes, I do have a store. There's a store right there. Yeah, just go to the store and buy stuff. It's another way to help out. I don't promote that too much, but I should because it helps out Free America Radio Network. That's what it does. So you can buy buttons, you can buy coffee cups, you can buy, there's a watch there, man. Free America Radio Network watch. That's cool. Plus, of course, you got your Survival Seed Vault. You can check that out as well. So, please go to freeamericaradio.us, go to the store site, support Free America Radio Network. And, yes. And, by the way, I'm on the website now, so if you want to jump into the chat right there below the radio player on the website at freeamericaradio.us, please do. I'm standing by to take your comments. News.yahoo.com, an article by Michael Beckel on the 24th of October, 2014. Power shifts to outsiders in the U.S. Senate fight. Power shifts to outsiders in the U.S. Senate fight. What does that bring to mind, folks? Well, let me read this. Set your mind at ease here. The days of candidates dominating their own political campaigns are over. In the most competitive U.S. Senate races this year, big money special interests that proliferated after the U.S. Supreme Court's Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission decision are routinely out-muscling and out-messaging the candidates themselves. This power shift is most prominent on television, where super PACs and political active nonprofits both may accept unlimited contributions, routinely account for nearly 1 out of every 2 ads run in a U.S. Senate race. Most of the ads are decidedly negative, and they've collectively cost hundreds of millions of dollars with Election Day just 10 days away. Actually, it's tomorrow, folks. Wealthy liberals and conservatives alike are complicit pumping money into these groups that, by law, may not operate, quote, in concert or cooperation with, unquote, the candidates or parties they seek to boost. This stands in stark contrast to the 2010 midterm election, when the GOP embraced super PACs while Democrats shunned them. Now, big dollar liberal groups sometimes trump their conservative counterparts as both seek to support candidates who will help their preferred party win control of the U.S. Senate during the final 2 years of Barack Obama's presidency. The Democratic Party is defending more than half a dozen seats on Republican-friendly turf. The GOP will seize power if it picks up 6 seats. These stakes have created a financial arms race that will almost certainly make this election historically expensive. Quote, everybody wants to have one more nuke other than the other guy does, unquote, says Kathy Kiley, managing editor of the nonpartisan Sunlight Foundation, which tracks money in politics. You can read that on I'm going to put this at the top of Free America Radio on Facebook. And, well, since nobody's in the chat room on the website, let me just go back to Free America Radio on Facebook. Let me go back to Facebook and pop this at the top there. If the page wants to cooperate, there we go. Anyway. Yeah, I seriously believe that it's going to be an outsider's game this year. I really do. I really do. I believe that at one point, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, at one point both parties worked together for the betterment of the United States of America. I believe this. But at some point, somebody got a wild hair up their ass and decided, hey, maybe if somebody came to me and wanted this done, I wonder if I should charge them for that. Let's see. Contribute to my political campaign and I'll make sure that's done. Yeah, that's called special interest. Then the special interests were, kind of shunning the idea of doing that because of the fact that, they could get caught. Oh, my God. So they started hiring these people, years ago, this one I forget the guy's name, but they sat down in this one area. I think it was a coffee shop or some restaurant or something. And this prominent political figure of our history sat down with two other people, and these two other people were lobbying for something, and that's where you get the term lobbyists. They were, discussing things. Yeah, if we, do this for you and all that, and we'll make sure that you get into office, you'll make sure we get what we want. That's lobbying. Okay? It's lobbying. And that's what it was, in the lobby of a hotel, I believe it was. So somebody who is more apt to understand a lot more history than I do. I just don't know specifics. I know a lot of general history. But if you remember that, please let me know. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. But that's lobbying. So at some point in our history, a couple of people got together and went, hey, wait a minute. We not only can make a whole lot of money, we can get what we want. Wow. So the lobbyists and the special interest groups worked together to get what they wanted from the politicians who were in Congress, the Senate and the House, who at one point worked together for the betterment of the United States. Once the lobbyists and the special interests got involved, well, all that went downhill into the toilet. Okay? So that's generally that's how it happened. I don't know exactly when the moment was that it all changed, but I know that ever since then we've been screwed as the general public, as the voting constituents of our parties. Yeah, we've been screwed ever since. We've been screwed since 1913, 101 years ago, when President Woodrow Wilson signed the Internal Revenue Act and the Federal Reserve Act into law, and pretty much gave the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers all the financial, benefits of the United States. Because it was in 1871, go look up the Organic Act of 1871, and you will see that the Rothschilds pretty much, through their weaseling and manipulating the situation and all their big money, industrialist money, came to the United States and went, yeah, we see that you have no money. We see that you're broke. It's only been 6 years after the Civil War. We can help you out if. And that's what happened. So here we are. Screwed ever since. Okay? Screwed ever since. And anyway, sorry, I'm typing away here. I'm answering a message to someone on Facebook, so And I go to Free America Radio on Facebook. I want to highlight something I talked about as soon as I pass up all this stuff that I talked about in previous episodes, and there it is. I mean, you can go to Free America Radio Facebook page, war is the greatest debt creator known to man, and you'll see the three people who pretty much own America and own the politicians and own everybody in Washington, D.C. Okay? I'm just saying. All right? Just putting it out there. All right? Because that's the way it is. A lot of people don't think so, and a lot of people hate that, and a lot of people will say I'm wrong, but you prove I'm wrong. The facts are out there, folks. It's right there. Again, on my podcast, the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast from earlier, I said the facts are there. The facts are in your face. Nobody wants to see them. Nobody wants to really accept them. Such as this, yournewswire.com. I read this on one of my previous episodes, but in this particular instance, it's worth repeating. Insider reveals an entire New World Order agenda in 1969 and is killed. Royce Kristen over there at yournewswire.com. Dr. Lawrence Dunnigan was invited to go to a speaking event by Dr. Richard Day, chief of Arranged Parenthood. Get that? Go look that up. Startpage.com, chief of Arranged Parenthood. This was back in 1969, in a room about 90 specialists. They were not allowed to have any recording devices in the room, nor be allowed to take notes. What they didn't know was that Dr. Dunnigan had near photographic memory, and Dr. Day's hypnotic suggestion at the end of the event didn't seem to have any effect on Dr. Dunnigan. As soon as Dr. Dunnigan arrived home, he wrote down everything that he could remember. 20 years later, again, this happened in 1969, so in 1989, he took out his notes and made sound recordings of them. Shortly after Dunnigan started dispersing his audio tapes, Dr. Day passes away. Dr. Day said in the lecture that he would be in real trouble if this information got out. In 1987, when Dr. Dunnigan came out with the tape detailing the entire New World Order agenda, Dr. Dunnigan dies. He died in the same year the tape came out. Did they kill him? I see some anomalies here that I didn't see before. I'm just saying, there's a video there, talking about that. I'm seeing some anomalies here. So I don't know if this, I'm going to admit this right now. I don't know if this article is true, if it is to be believed, because it's also on beforeitsnews.com. Beforeitsnews.com, it is an accumulation of other writers, and it's a website where other writers can put up stuff on their own, verifiable or not. It's just completely up to the author. And it says here, back in... that article was from the on beforeitsnews.com was from the 23rd of October of this year. On the 20th of October, it talked about Morris Herman, New World Order Goals. Morris Herman is behind the YouTube channel 108 Morris 108, which features independent thought and analysis of world events and trends. A little quirky and individualistic, yet it is clear that Morris's channel reveals some experience in the professional news media. The channel first made an influence during the Libyan assault by NATO and often concentrates on Middle East affairs. Morris is a traveler and is also happy to engage in videos suggesting some of our news headlines are actually hoaxes and manufactured. We'll begin discussing the Ebola scare. Is this video man-made or nature-made? Is this virus man-made or nature-made? Morris talks about how this can lead to forced vaccinations, quarantine, and loss of civil rights. Then we'll discuss war from Slavs to the Middle East. What are the main New World Order goals? We'll talk about how they ultimately seek to destroy all indigenous way of life and how they intend to do this. Later, he speaks about decentralization to solve problems and neo-tribalism versus individualism. And you can go to that radio archive at reddicecreations.com. There's a link there in the article. And there's a lot of things in this article that really, really, really opened my eyes and literally verified a lot of the stuff I've known since high school and afterwards. A lot of this stuff has been verified over the years. Again, looking at the facts, okay? Looking at the facts, understanding what they are, and the only way you can understand them is if you research it, read, study, examine all of it. And I really think that people need to do that because I find this is some. There's a couple of things I got thoughts going on in my head, so I got a couple of things I want to make a point before the bottom of the hour break. First of all, I got to learn how to talk. Mr. Lips, Mr. Tongue, form the right words, and that works. But the first things first, you have all these people looking at the goal of the globalists. What is their goal? Their goal, have you heard of the Georgia Guidestones? Their goal is to have 500 million people worldwide. Folks, we have 7.5 billion people worldwide. That's about 90% of everybody, okay? 90% of the population gone. That's what the globalists want. What is the other part of that goal? The other part of that goal is to subjugate people as if they're peasants in a kingdom. Okay? So that's the first point. The second point is, as we go into this new cycle, this midterm cycle and a new presidential election cycle, or not the election cycle, but the campaign cycle starting probably about March of next year, you're going to see a push for, well, first of all, you're going to see people saying they're libertarians, saying they want to get rid of all this, Obama crap. They want to, throw it out. You're not going to see one politician say that Obama needs to be arrested. You're not. You're not going to see any politician say anything positive about the commencement of freedom through the ideologies and the principles of the American people. You're not going to see that. You're going to see rhetoric. You're going to hear rhetoric. You're going to see the people spouting off these things in the Democratic and Republican national conventions. You're going to, folks, you're going to hear a lot of talk. You're not going to see a lot of action because the powers that be are only going to take the suit off of Obama and put it on somebody else that they control. This is true in the midterms. This is true in the presidential election. The whole system is rigged against you, the American people. Okay? That's just the way it is. And that's the way it's going to be until the American people get really, 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 really pissed off and say, I've had enough. Okay? I've had enough. So anyway, yeah, in the middle of a show, somebody messaged me through Facebook, so I got to answer him back. But basically, sorry, got a little something going on in my throat there. Wow. Basically, people have to just stand up and say, I've had enough. Here's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it. Instead of sitting there going, well, if we did this and da-da-da, and, it's not going to help. I have to choose my words wisely here, folks. How do we, the people, finally tell the politicians that we put into office, get the hell out? Because you know that the elections are rigged. And I said this on the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast earlier. If you take 60%, or excuse me, what was it? If you take 60% of the population of the United States and these people do not vote tomorrow, you take 60% of the people of the United States and don't vote tomorrow, 40% will vote the same people in. Okay? Who's there now? Stupid people in Congress. You want 40% of the population to vote these people back in? No, we need the 60% to tell the 40%, shut the hell up. We're taking care of this. Okay? That's what we need. I didn't say that on the show earlier, but on the podcast earlier, but it comes down to really putting your foot forward and putting your foot down with these corrupt politicians and saying, I've had enough. I've completely had enough. It is one of those things where you do what you have to do to change the direction, number one, of your life, number two, of the lives of those around you. In other words, try to encourage them to do something positive to change America to a place of peace, freedom, security, and liberty for them. Okay? I don't care where you are. You can be in England, you can be in Australia, you can be in Germany. It doesn't matter. The principle of peace, freedom, security, and liberty is in the heart of every individual on the planet. The only problem is we have a government that, number one, we've allowed to do what they do. Number two, we can't stop them now because they're a freaking juggernaut. You know what I mean? They're a train. They're an out-of-control train. We have to derail that train and make sure that those people never get into politics again. Okay? And if that means we got to take them to court and sue them for everything they have and make them destitute, then that's exactly what we have to do. And by the way, did you know as an individual, you can go to your court clerk and you ask them about this. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but ask them about this. You can go to your court clerk and file complaints about your particular politician through the courts. They have to listen to it. You don't go to your governor's office. You don't go to your legislature. No. You go to the courtroom and you go to the court clerk and ask them about this. I don't know if this can happen exactly the way that I'm thinking about it, but you need to go there and ask them about this. You can file the complaints against your city council, against your county government, against your state government through the courts. They have to listen. Once it's in the courts and your politician gets wind of it or they hear about it, they have to listen. It's in the courts. So just don't go screaming and yelling outside of their office, although that does help too. I've seen that work. So, anyway. Folks, it's the bottom of the hour. Yeah, it's the last half hour of the show. freeamericaradio@usa.com is the email address. If you have any comments, concerns, questions, anything, even if you disagree with me, show me why. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. If you want to sponsor this show, you can. Go to the sponsors page at freeamericaradio.us. You can also donate if you like. If you don't want to sponsor, you can donate. I do accept PayPal and Bitcoin, so you can do that as well. Again, freeamericaradio@usa.com is the email address. freeamericaradio.us is the website. Folks, I shall return right after this. You're listening to The Views Expressed right here on the Free America Radio Network. The world as we know it is changing. We must speak out against the tyranny in our country. Stand up, speak out, get involved. Live Truth Radio. The reality underneath the honesty. LiveTruthRadio.com. The Wayne S. Pierce Show on the Free America Radio Network. Go to thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com for more information. And catch the Wayne S. Pierce Show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12 noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on the Free America Radio Network.
Time to take our republic back, folks. Brian Bonner, the uncooperative radio show host, will tell you how. Join us for the ride of your life. Using humor and the facts, we will expose the news that the lamestream media refuses to report. The Constitution is the solution, and we can prove it. Listen in and find out what it means to be an uncooperative citizen of these United States. You can find our show at uncooperativerradio.com, and we are rebroadcast on redstatetalkradio.com.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Don't wait until another natural or man-made disaster strikes. Have at least 72 hours of emergency gear near you at all times, and that includes food. Get your emergency food supply today. Go to freeamericaradio.us and at the top of the page, click on the emergency food supply link. Help your family by purchasing as much emergency food supply as you need. You'll be helping out your family and Free America Radio Network. Thank you. Hey, folks, welcome back. This is the Free America Radio Network, freeamericaradio.us. How y'all doing today? It's the 3rd of November, 2014, last half hour of the show. I started a little earlier just because I got some stuff to do. So, hey, look for the podcast for the Wayne S. Pierce Show. Go to the waynespearceshow.weebly.com. Check them out there as well. I'm scaling back the Free America Radio Network for a reason, and that's one of the places I'm going to start. No more live shows. I know you heard the promo there for a live show, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Nope, just consider it a podcast now, and I'm going to change that promo, by the way. And it's podcast form. We're going to scale back a little bit and go from there. You can still help out Free America Radio Network if you like. Go to freeamericaradio.us. Donate to the cause of freedom with either PayPal or Bitcoin. Or you can sponsor the show. Go to the sponsors page. I'm not out to break your advertising budget, so there you go. Or you can get your emergency food supply. Why wait for another natural or man-made disaster? Get your emergency food supply today at freeamericaradio.us. Click on the link there on the page. You'll be helping out your family and Free America Radio Network. Onward and upward, folks. What do we got here in America? That's a good question. What do we have here in America? What do we have? Okay. I think, and I could be wrong, or this could just be my opinion. Maybe? We have a system that is fundamentally flawed, but is, or I should say not but, it's not only fundamentally flawed, it's also looking like Swiss cheese. There's more holes in this than, the screen door on your house. Okay? This system has failed. This system is not only broken, it's annihilated from within. Our founding fathers talked about it. Some of the presidents talked about it. Mostly all the people on the outside of the system, in other words, other countries, as well as those like myself and Pete Santilli and other folks like that, we know what's going on. We see the flaws, and we're trying to point them out to you, saying, look, here, accept it. Look at that. There's a rip in the screen door. Do you really want the bugs to come in and eat your food? Hello? But you guys just, I don't know. Some of you get it. I'm not saying that most of you don't. I'm just saying that most of people are awake and they're aware of this, and they're trying to let you know. And some of the people I hear are finally getting a clue. But I'm talking to those out there that just don't even want to accept anything. Our system is not flawed. It's not broken. It's the best one we got. It's the only one we got. Yes, it is. It's the only one we have. And let's keep it that way. Not the way it is right now today on the 3rd of November, 2014. No. Let's change that, shall we? Our founding fathers had principles that they lived by, and they took the Magna Carta, they took some stuff from the Indians, they learned a great deal from their environment. They took and changed some things to help secure the peace, freedom, and security and liberty in this nation through a Declaration of Independence, and 15 years later in a Constitution and a Bill of Rights. But there are those that want this country to collapse. And you know what? It's too far gone now to save, so it has to collapse so that you and I, we the people, can rebuild this country in the image of what the founding fathers truly envisioned for this country. And I'm going to say this. I know this is going to piss off a lot of people, but ask me if I care. We need to completely ban any corporate contributions to any political field in every state. Ban them. Make it against the law for any corporation. I'm talking places like Walmart, McDonald's, IBM, whatever, Apple, Microsoft, whatever. No corporate contributions to political parties. But, as I say that, and I hear myself say that, I know for a fact that these billion and trillionaires are going to sit there and find some way to contribute to another organization that can contribute their money to the political party. Well, if it has anything to do with a foundation or a trust account or anything that has to do that can be connected to any corporation in America or around the world, then no, it's completely and utterly banned. Well, how is anybody going to get the money to do this and do that? No, then shut up. You know who's going to contribute to the politics, if you will, of this nation? That would be we the people. Okay? The only reason why the corporations are contributing anywhere, excuse me, do you know why the corporations are contributing to political parties? Oh, and by the way, one company can contribute to both parties. Whoever wins, well, hey, yeah, why not? They're doing that because they can, because we, the people, have allowed it. Because the corporations took over in 1871. Okay? That we've allowed that. Okay? I mean, some people said that President Woodrow Wilson, back in the early teens of this history of the 20th century, was a lot worse than President U.S. Grant. Okay? I don't see that. Some people said that President Carter was worse off than Nixon. He was worse off than, Wilson. He was worse off than Roosevelt. No. Now that we've, from 2008, we have said that Barack Obama is worse than Carter, and we found out he is worse than Carter. I think we owe President Carter an apology, don't you? So anyway. Hey, let me get on to some news, shall I? Holy crap, why am I sitting here ranting to you folks about all that, okay? DrudgeReport.com. Midterm election rides wave of anger at incumbents. New York Times, irate electorate puts control of Senate in play. Most ads on Obamacare. Georgia Dem refuses to say if would have voted for law again. Let me just look down here. Holder sends election monitors to polls. Yeah, Holder sending election monitors to polls. North Carolina poll workers offer ballots to imposter 20 times. Okay. Now, Israeli artist arrested for defecating on national flag. Isn't that wonderful? Pooping on the Israeli flag. Come on, give me a break. Civil rights leaders call for probe into poverty pimp posters against Congresswoman Waters. What? Hotels eliminating all human interaction at check-in. Guests enter room via smartphone, reusable key card, wearable tech for sounder sleep. Globetrotting travel writer decides nowhere is best. I'm going to go there because I want to take the last few minutes and do a little rehashing. Hey, you folks that want $15 an hour working part-time, shut the hell up. Here's why. From hospitalitynet.org. This is hospitalitynet.org. This is a article by, I don't see the author here. I don't see it. I'll put this on Free America Radio because this falls right into the category of why the hell would you want $15 an hour? Announcing the global debut of SPG Keyless from Starwood Hotels and Resort, the first mobile keyless room entry. Rollout begins today at Aloft, Element, and W hotels around the world. There's a video there associated with that. I'll put the video up as well. It's a mobile office. It's a virtual wallet. It's a lifeline. And now it's a hotel room key. Today, the smartphone will get a whole lot smarter, especially while on the road. Starwood Preferred Guest, SPG, the award-winning loyalty program from Starwood Hotels and Resorts worldwide, introduces SPG Keyless, the hospitality industry's first mobile keyless entry system, allowing guests to use their smartphone as a key. Rolling out to Aloft, Element, and W hotels around the globe, SPG Keyless makes it official debut in 10 hotels in markets including Beijing, Hong Kong, New York, Los Angeles, and Doha. SPG Keyless is a groundbreaking turning point in the traditional hotel experience, redefining the age-old way guests arrive and check in to their rooms. SPG Keyless, powered by an SPG app, enables guests to bypass the front desk, where available, go directly to their room, and unlock their stay with a simple tap of their smartphone. Quote, not only does SPG Keyless alleviate a perennial pain point of travelers, but it also transforms the first interaction with our guest from one that is transactional to something more personal, unquote, said Fritz van Postgen, I guess. Postgen, I can't pronounce that name, excuse me. Starwood's president and chief executive officer. Sorry there, Fritz. Quote, "This is just the beginning because through mobile, we have the opportunity to marry high tech and high touch to transform the hotel experience in many exciting ways," unquote. SPG Keyless goes live Wednesday, November 5th at the following hotels. So take this into consideration, folks. Aloft Beijing, Aloft Cancun, Aloft Cupertino, Aloft Harlem, W Doha, W Hollywood, W Hong Kong, W New York Downtown, W Singapore, Element Times Square. Starwood will rapidly roll out SPG Keyless with plans for it to be available on 30,000 doors in 150 hotels around the globe by early 2015 across Aloft, Element, and W hotels. SPG Keyless is available to SPG members who book a hotel through a hotel room through one of the Starwood's channels, hotel website, spg.com, the SPG app, and customer contact center. And you can see how it works in the video. And so to all those that want $15 an hour working part-time or full-time or whatever in the hospitality business, including your fast food joints, you people are the dumbest people on the face of the planet. Why the hell are you fighting for $15 an hour when you can just go out and create your own job? You ever heard of a lawnmower? You ever heard of painting a house? Ever heard of babysitting? Ever heard of dog walking? Yeah, you want that kind of money? You go out and do your own thing. Got it? Shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not going to get $15 an hour. That's just the way it is. So, how in the world would someone, and I say this, how in the world would someone ever choose to ignore what is happening? Now think about it. Think about it for a minute. Well, let me just put it to you plainly. Instead of you having to screw on your thinking cap, why don't people accept what's going on? How can they ignore the obvious? This is why I say people are ignorant. They're not ignorant being dumber than a box of rocks, but they are, in some cases, they're being ignorant and ignoring the obvious. But how can they? How can they? I'm not sure what people are thinking. I'm not. I'm not sure why people think the way they do. But I know that when they ignore the obvious, they're ignoring the very thing, the very monster, the very thorn in their side that is going to, at some point, eliminate them from the game. Okay? I'm just saying. I find it odd that people do ignore the obvious. And I'm just wondering why. That's all. Just wanted to put that thought out there. Okay? Just want to put that out there. The other thing that I find odd is why... Now, don't scream too much at your computer screen. I find it odd that people would ever look at someone like me or Pete Santilli or Josh Tolley or Nick Tucker or Brian Lang or Bob Brutus and say, you guys are totally out of your heads. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You don't really? When we're the ones with all the information that we're giving to you and encouraging you to go look at, you're telling us that we're totally whacked out of our heads when you're the ones ignoring the obvious. I find that kind of odd. Don't you? I just find that kind of odd. Now, let me get on to another. Whoops! Oh, crap! I clicked off the page there. There was something else in the Drudge Report I wanted to read to you. Washington Post says that 97% chance, CNN 95, and New York Times 70. What's that all about? That's what I wanted to read to you. CNN.com says Republicans will win control of the U.S. Senate, 95%. Will Kentucky Senator McConnell win re-election? 98% says yes. Will Florida Governor Scott win re-election? 42% say yes. I will put this on the Free America Radio Facebook page. Will North Carolina Senator Hagan win re-election? 69% say yes. Will New Hampshire Senator Shaheen win re-election? 79% say yes. He's a Democrat, by the way. So is Hagan for North Carolina. Will Governor Walker in Wisconsin win his re-election? 86% say yes. Will Iowa State Senator Ernst win re-election? Win election, I should say. 90% say yes. Will Arkansas Senator Pryor win re-election? Guess what? 2%. Will Udall in Colorado win? 6%. I will put this up on the Free America Radio Facebook page and let y'all take a gander at that. There you go. Let me tell you something. And again, I've stressed this over the months, over the years that I've been doing this show. I will say this. It is, the whole system is rigged, folks. All of it. The whole system is rigged. Both parties are nothing more both parties are nothing more than corporate minions. This is what we have in Congress. There's 535 members of Congress. They're nothing more than corporate minions. Oh, and by the way, the congressmen don't put the laws through or put the bills through or argue for, whatever, this, that, and the other. What you see on CNN, you notice a lot of time goes by before you hear even anybody come up to the podium and be recognized. You know what's going on behind the scenes? It's the interns, it's the, all of the assistants, it's all those people that are making the wheels turn in Washington, D.C. It's not the congressman. So we need to kick these people out of there. We need to turn the White House and Congress into a museum. Okay? This is what the Republic became a democracy, and we've been screwed ever since. Democracies don't work because it's always going to be the majority rule, which, of course, if you look back in history, has never worked at all. Okay? Hitler, Mussolini, Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi. It's never worked. Socialism has never worked. Fascism has never worked. Communism has never worked. It just doesn't work. None of it works. Okay? What you have to remember is that the United States started out as a republic. That works. Look at all the republics that worked. Okay? The only reason why they didn't work is because in history you'll find that they were overtaken by seedy and nefarious characters. 99.9% of the time they were in what we call the Democratic Party. Okay? Look at it. Oh, and some of the Republicans are Republicans in name only. And a lot of people say, well, that's not right because, let me tell you something. I'm going to have detractors. I'm going to have people telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to have people telling me I'm wrong. I'm going to have people telling you that you're wrong. Some people you've already had tell you that you're wrong. I'm preaching to the choir right now. So if people actually had a clue, okay, and really understood if they understood the processes involved. The Electoral College needs to go away. And if we understood the processes involved, we would kick the Electoral College out. We would make the votes count per state by the people, not the politicians. Go look up the word politicians. Where did that come from? It came from a Latin word, and I can't remember what that word was. Politique or something like that. But let me go there now at the end of the show. I should have done this earlier. Politician, dictionary.com, a person who is active in party politics, a seeker or holder of public office who is more concerned about winning favor or retaining power than about maintaining principles. Boy, that fits Congress today, doesn't it? A person who holds political office, a person skilled in political, government, or administration, statesman or statewoman, we don't have one of those, an expert in politics, blah, 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 a person who seeks to gain power or advancement within an organization in ways that are generally disapproved. Hello there. Okay, there you go. There you go. I'm going to share this. Okay, going to share this on Facebook, and I will post that on the Free America Radio Facebook page. It is very, very simple to remember. Okay, there it is on the Free America Radio Facebook page. Okay. The definition of politician. Go look it up. I'm done for today. I want you to remember something. Do not consent to any unconstitutional laws or executive orders. Number one. Number two, if any of your state legislatures or governors or anybody of that nature decides to propose gun control laws, you tell them they are in direct violation of the Second Amendment prior to 1871. You don't need to buy a license or register your weapon. Your license is the Second Amendment, period. And if they don't like it, well, that's tough. Third, tomorrow is a key day right now in history to change your environment the way that you want it to be changed. Do not vote, re-elect, or vote these asshats into office. Kick them out. Harry Reid needs to go to jail. Eric Holder needs to go to jail. Barack Obama needs to go to jail. You understand me? And if that's not going to happen tomorrow, on the 4th of November, 2014, then prior to the presidential election, we need to completely force Congress to disband. Okay? We the people can do it. We did it once before in our history. Go back and look it up. But now, what are we doing? We're allowing these people to reign supreme over us. What are we, a freaking kingdom? We're not. We're not subjects. We're not peasants. We're free, individual, sovereign people, and that's the way it is. We want peace, freedom, and security in this nation, and that's what we're going to get. And we want a United States of America. This is what we need today, tomorrow, and for the rest of our lives. In the meantime, folks, I will be back tomorrow at the regular time at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on freeamericaradio.us. And please email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's freeamericaradio@usa.com. And remember this, we the people have the power, for we are America.